Hey, you crazy motherfuckers. I thought it sounded good. Welcome to another edition of Krazy Truth. I'm your host with the most. I'm Cole, and I'm abused. And I'm here with the lovely, and sometimes mean Miss Amanda.
Hey.
Actually, I'm not abused. That's a joke. It's not a good joke, but it's a joke. She hits me sometimes. But it's consensual, and I like it. We are here to, we're here to titillate. Tantallate, that ain't even a word.
No.
That ain't. Really. Listen to me, boy. I'm coming straight.
Alleviate. Try not to hate.
Coming straight from the fucking.
Love your mate.
Coming straight from the trailer parks today. That's where we're going.
You are.
But no. I feel some deliverance. No, I don't. I kind of got a hemorrhoid, so that's not gonna work. Anyway, so just kidding. So, anywho, this is season 4, episode 154. Yeah, I cheated.
I never know what's going to come out of your mouth.
Neither do I most of the time. Right now, I can tell you what's coming out of my pores. Rum. I got a little drunk last night. But before we go down that little rabbit fucking hole.
Yeah, we'll discuss that.
Let's give a shout out to our paid sponsors first and foremost. altplayground.net. Hey, now we've been talking about this. How do you meet and greet people in the lifestyle? You go to what? That's right, meet and greets. And altplayground.net's put them on around the country. You can be a part of this. Just so you know, the word is the May 1st winery meet and greet is sold out. There's still spots at Tiki's Lounge Dock and Grill. That's the 14th of May. And they've got spots left at Bombs Bar and Eats in Detroit. That's May 14th also. And the club in Oklahoma City, that place is fucking huge. By the way, they're never going to be sold out because they are massive. That's May 15th. That meet and greet's being put on by our good friends, Kinky Frame of Mind. So make sure you check it out. Sign up today, altplayground.net. Guess what? You can find us there. I know. I can't help it. It's either that or Flim's going to come all over the microphone. I was slimed. So make sure you check them out. Also, remember, tits may sag, balls may drop, but you should always read. See, I changed that. Okay. And you should read what other people read, and that is porn. No, I'm just kidding. ASNLifestyleMagazine.com. Check them out. 3 million swingers can't be wrong. Education and educated swingers is sexy. Just saying. I mean, so hot cooters. But anyways, check out ASNLifestyleMagazine.com. Be 3 million one today. And finally, you're listening to the shows. You're reading the mag. Come on, motherfuckers. Go buy some swag. It's summertime. Get your latest, greatest gear for your favorite shows at FullSwapShop.com. Should I say it again for the kids in back? Sure. FullSwapShop.com. Check it out today. We've got new stuff going on there, actually, as of tomorrow. I'm tuckered out. I'm all tuckered. Back to you, Bob.
So let's discuss last night. Someone got a little drunk.
I got no. I got social. I got tipsy and I got social. And now wait a minute. If I recall, this just shows how much there's in Cole's life. There is a switch. My world has a switch inside of me, on off. Mm-hmm. You had been squawking at me because you were concerned about which way the night would go. Because why? Because
you've been stressed.
I've been agitated.
Yes, very agitated.
So the thing is, Cole's always happy drunk.
Snippy.
No, I haven't been snippy. Shut the hell up. No, I'm kidding. Cole sometimes, if I get agitated, sometimes I'm normally a very happy drunk, but there's always that potential for shit to go like way south.
Just go which way.
Now, what happened? What happened? As soon as the band started to play, what happened? Bloop. And away we were. Off we went.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Go, Seabiscuit, go! Yes, Mike, we are live yet. Hold on one second. You want to type yes in there? So I had a great time. We got to hear band. You know, we're all coming out of hibernation. We don't really know exactly what to do. But we did, and we had fun.
It's just different because, you know, when you start off, you had to have reservations at this bar to listen to this band.
Yep.
And so you sat for the first set, and then they go, the second set, you can actually get up and dance.
It's because they shut the kitchen down. It's
Is
because
that what it was?
switched from when the kitchen's open. Look, the reality of it is this.
So it had nothing to do with COVID or...
It did, because they're from the restaurant part versus the kitchen
because you're
just the
eating
bar
and
part.
stuff
Yeah.
moving around. Gotcha.
So obviously where we're at, there's all kinds of different things that are going on, different rules, regs, whatever. And the thing is this. I'm going to put this out there because this is really true, and I really, really believe this. I don't give two fucks what you believe about COVID. I don't care what you believe about masks. I don't want to give two fucks what you think about the rules and regulations. In fact, if you tell me what you think, I'm going to tell you to go suck a dick and fuck off. What I do care about is having fun. And so if the way we get to go out and have fun is we have to we have to follow the rules, you know what? The other option is we can all sit in our houses. Oh, womp, womp,
we'll
womp.
make it fun.
And the thing is everybody had a good time. We followed the rules, and then we were able to go in the back room where and no one had to wear a mask, and everybody had a blast. There was a nice group. People were tipsy. I've heard a lot of people say they got tipsy and had fun. We listened to the band. It was a great time.
A lot of talking and actually getting to know some people.
Yeah, and there was a lot of shit going on in and around here in our area.
Yeah.
So we couldn't go to everything. There was at least 2 or 3 other parties, events were going on, and Rock On, we're getting to come out of our shells. So everybody, just remember this. No matter what your opinions are, it's about having fun, and we have the opportunity to have fun. So you know what? I don't know. Let's fucking just have fun. It sounds like a good plan to me, because it was awesome to be out again. Something about stumbling out of a bar at 1:30 in the morning again, that feel cold.
Well, after everybody left, we stayed for the rest of the band. And we just kind of stood in the corner and danced with each other and bounced around.
Cole did not need any more liquor. Nope. And Cole did not have any more liquor. So that was really good liquor.
Yes. So you were tipsy, and you said if the drive were any longer, that you would have passed out.
I would have most definitely taken a little nippy nap.
Then you want sex.
Yeah, and here's the thing: when we were gonna fuck, you were like, got all like, I don't know.
Because you were acting kind of like
drunk.
Stop doing that! I
What?
hate that. So yes, you were acting drunk, and sometimes when you're drunk,
I wasn't acting.
You just put your entire weight on my body, and I can't.
I still thrust. It's not that I just passed out.
No, the one time you were hammered, you crawled on me, and you just laid there and like.
Okay, but most of the time I still move in some variety.
So no, the comical part was.
One, to getting the dog out of the way. That was amazing.
That wasn't that much of a chore. I moved a 12-pound dog. We're all good.
I couldn't figure it out.
No, when you started to look at my nipples, you were looking at like a clit.
Yeah,
I'm like...
There was nothing, there was no
You're
like...
You're supposed to suck them,
there was
not
no
lick them
like, no,
a clit.
I was like writing the alphabet on her nipples.
So all I could do was laugh.
I was a little tipsy. So then I went ahead and tried it on your clit. And it worked well there too.
Yes.
So there we go. And then we fucked, and then I passed out. And not for long, because I was hot. And then I think I was having a midlife thing. I had like menopause hit me, and I had to go.
No, you were drunk.
Well, I was hot. But whatever. It doesn't matter. It was
shit.
Good
After
sex.
you finished, I used a vibrator.
I didn't hear that part.
No, you passed out.
Yeah, it was quiet. It was the soft little. And I said, "Well, that's sexy," and there we go. So it is what it is. So yeah.
That was comical. Like.
Yeah.
What are you doing to my nipple?
And I'm like, well, really? Let's see if it works on your clit. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that was totally.
And you know what's funny? She didn't bitch about my beard being wet then. Weird.
I didn't kiss you afterwards either, did I?
I don't remember. I was drunk. Why? I've just been kissing yourself.
It'd
been like a threesome. You, me, and you. One's slightly more used than the other.
No.
One of these things is not like the other. Just saying.
I don't. How do I put it without sounding moronic? I don't like my face wet. Don't squirt on my face, don't come on my face, and don't slobber on my face.
How about spit?
No.
I'm gonna get punched.
Even showering, I go. I don't like to get my
what
face
she did
wet.
for those of you who are just hearing, she covered her face and
oh, I forgot.
she screams like a little girl. Yee, water, yee. No, I'm kidding. It's not bad. By the way, real quick before we go any further, I do want to mention to those of you that are just listening, you should be watching too. But we do this in front of our live secret Facebook group, Casbah Inc. Shh, don't tell the others. And so they'll interject as we go through. So
Charlotte says that her drinks are still kicking her ass.
That means we did it right. Monty sent me the thing. He was a little drunk because I was a little drunk too. So
really?
Yeah. So everybody had a great time.
He passed it off well because I didn't know. Yeah. I wouldn't have figured.
I was all right until I stood up and moved around. I was like, whoa. So that's all right. But okay.
How bad was it? I didn't realize I was drinking Pepsi.
Yeah, no shit. No shit.
And I don't like
she was
Pepsi.
Sober.
Yeah, I was sober. I was just excited to get out.
I quickly gave her the keys. That was early. I made the decision. I'm like, I'm only going to have one. And then when I got there, I had one.
He always says that. I don't plan on having very much to drink. I'm not going to get drunk. And then as soon as he said that, I looked at him and I went, why did you say that? Because every time you say it, you get drunk.
But now the difference is when I was younger, I denied that it was going to happen and it just happened. Now I turned to you and said, I've made the decision. I'm going to get drunk. Here are the keys. And so I did it in a much more, my maturity level is so much bigger, better, and brighter now. Just saying.
Whatever.
Please. Anyways.
Whatever. We'll go with it.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. So we're going to do we're changing the format of the show.
Okay.
Why are you looking at me like you don't know? We had this, we talked about this.
I act like I don't know what we're talking about.
Well, normally you don't, but this time you do.
I know.
So it's kind of weird. You could have interjected.
No, it's all good.
What?
It's all good. Interject what?
Anything. Run with it. Go, Steve Biscuit, go. I'm giving you the opportunity to totally take charge, to be the strong woman that you are.
I don't know how you're going to segue into this shit, so I have no idea.
I was going to pass it to you and let you segue.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, that worked out well. Okay, see, that's why we don't have production meetings. It's not working.
Well, no, we talked about what we were going to talk about. We didn't talk about how you were going to bring it up to talk about it. So there's a big difference there.
All I know is I have a new mic stand, and it's heavy and firm, and it holds my mic better, and so I feel like... it's going to be a good show. Great show.
Okay.
Other than that, I got nothing. So, okay. So, no, we're going to change the format tonight. Instead of doing...
I'm tired.
No way. Really?
I've got coffee. No.
For those of you just listening, she swallowed the microphone as her head opened like a python.
Okay, but we got home at 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, okay, no, we got home at like 1:45. We fucked. Okay, so it was like 2-ish.
2:11 till we got done fucking. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I was pretty good when I was drunk. Shut up.
No, you're good when you're drunk. I just dry out because I'm old. There's a difference. And then...
I fucked her silly. Nah.
I woke up at 6.
Yeah, way to go.
Yeah, 4 hours. That fucking sucks.
I slept like 2. I was up at 3:30.
No.
5. Don't tell me what time I was and wasn't up. You weren't with me.
You went to the couch.
Yeah, and I came back into bed at 4:53. And I was up at 5:30 p.m. I was up at 3:30 p.m.
Well, that's because of the alcohol.
Not necessarily. I'm old also. So you dry out and I piss more. I leak more. Welcome to fucking being old. Anyways.
You should go to a doctor and get that checked out.
I should put that on my triglyceride list.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so anyways, now back to what we were saying before.
We were talking?
Oh, you fucking... So we have done previous shows on all kinds of stuff, including things such as, and not limited to, in the content of, how to you look me weird, things like people want to know about playing alone, and just how to get people to do different things, how to get your spouses to get in a lifestyle. We've had those questions. So we kind of wanted to follow up because we got another round of those questions. And so we wanted to follow up, but instead of a specific question, what we wanted to talk about today, whatever, is we want to talk about the overall concept of what, in the lifestyle, when you're playing as a couple, what do you do, or how do you handle or deal with the fact that when you're each at a different level in the lifestyle, we make this general assumption that if you and I are playing together as a couple, that we're going to move through the steps, so to speak, at the same pace. And that's not true. We're still, just because we're a couple, just because we're long-term married, just because all of those things, doesn't mean that we're going to move through the steps of the lifestyle at the same pace.
Or want to.
Or want to, exactly.
We're not, so you shouldn't move at a different pace. It evolves, but...
But you're going to evolve, each person is going to evolve differently. We're still, look, we do it all the time when we do marriages. Just because you're married or whatever else, you're still individual people. And the thing is we like to be able to put the general blanket on it and go, well, if you're not ready, then I just need to just not be ready. In theory, yes. But that's not easy. There's emotions that go along with that. Why are you looking at me like that?
What the hell?
What do you mean, what the hell?
If one's ready to move on, you wait till the other one's ready.
I understand you. I didn't... Did I say you say fuck the bitch and move on? No. I said it would be perfect to say I'm just supposed to go, I'm not ready, and it's okay. You don't move on until everybody's ready. But it doesn't mean you don't deal with the fact that there are emotions and feelings and things that are tied into the person who is ready. And
right.
Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Look, and we'll use us as an example, right? If I'm ready, what do you fucking need?
My back. I want something to scratch my
Jesus.
back.
Okay, if the thing
I'm
is,
like, look,
I'm like,
I
she's
wasn't
like,
trying to bug you. I was trying to find see if I had scissors in here or something that I could scratch. That won't scratch my back.
Okay. Anyways, back to the show, as if people might know something about this. So the thing is that using you and I as an example is that if just because you're not ready to move on, and I am ready, okay? If me sitting there just going, and I just close off and go, okay, that's fine, we won't. What happens is if those feelings aren't addressed, then I can start to feel like my feelings don't matter.
Yeah.
I can start to feel resentment. I can start to feel anger, hostility, whatever, and all of those things. Look, if feelings are not addressed and we don't honestly approach this is when in the lifestyle it goes from playing as a couple to cheating. Or has the potential to,
right.
Or to cause a lot of damage. The other flip side of that, the other extreme is, if you're not ready and I am, and you just go, well, okay, and you just do something you're not comfortable with, obviously, again, there's a whole lot of bad that can happen with that. Do you want to say, what the fuck?
I'm trying to figure out where you're going.
So, where I'm headed with this is the fact that we need to talk a little bit about, number one, talk about the fact of how often does it happen that one party is ready to maybe graduate or move on when the other one's not. When we got in the lifestyle, fucking A, why do we have meetings? When we got into the lifestyle,
trying to figure out how
okay, who was it that wanted in the lifestyle first?
You.
Absolutely. I was like, go, 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 go. After we first hooked up, who was having the most fun in the lifestyle? Not fucking me. You.
But we did it together.
I get that. We did it together, but you were having more fun than I was.
Yes, it was erotic as hell and you were having issues.
Right. Then as we continued through the lifestyle, I was the one. There were certain things that you were ready to do and try before I was, and vice versa. I thought we were ready to try playing alone before you did.
Yeah.
You were much more ready to play in a separate room before I was.
No.
Earlier on.
Right. But actually playing alone, you did it first and I was okay with it.
When playing separate, but let's go back. Playing in separate, when we first started off, we were same room.
Right.
Full swap, same room.
Right.
And that was a non-negotiable.
Right.
You were more ready and willing to go to the step of full swap, different room.
When you were cracking jokes and distracting us, yes.
Right, but not just on that. Overall,
I was picking.
You were more okay with that.
It didn't faze me.
You were okay with that way faster than I was.
No, okay.
But then when it came time to when it was like playing alone, I thought and I felt like we could handle that way sooner than you did, and I did it first. Yeah, I did it first. You were not an advocate of playing alone.
Well, I don't remember.
No, you were not an advocate of playing alone.
I know you were panicked. I wasn't gonna be okay with it. I'm like, no, go ahead. I have no interest in this female. Whatever.
Right.
But I'm like, no, go play. I'm okay with it. Are you sure you're okay with it? Yes, I'm okay with it. You go play.
But you were not one. You had not been one that was like, hey, you had never instigated that conversation.
No.
At all. And you'd have been fine if that conversation never would have happened at that time. Once we both did it, then it was not a big deal. We worked through things in a step-by-step process.
Right.
Oh, jeez, God. You're killing me. So the thing is the we also had a shit ton of communication with each one of those steps.
Well, it's important, especially if you're afraid the other one isn't okay with it, after you do it, to at least talk it out completely and include all feelings and emotions.
The first part of it is understanding that there's a distinct possibility you're not going to be on the same page with stuff. We didn't start as a soft swap couple. So I've known of couples that it wasn't both were not on the same page, starting from soft swap, moving to full swap.
Right.
Okay, so that's a step, and the thing is, it's a give and take and a communication to go through it. There are some steps that are bigger, okay, in my opinion at least. The step going when you start talking about playing alone, that step is substantially bigger than, say, full swap couple different room. At the time, it wouldn't have been. At the time, it was just as huge. But in the grand scheme of things, that's a monster step.
It's a big step.
So, making sure that people have...
But, I thought you were going to have more of a problem with it. That's why I hooked up with someone that you've seen me have sex with in the same room.
Yeah. Well, and just like anything else, you never know how much of an issue you're going to have till it happens.
Very true.
That's a big part of it. So the point that I want to try to get people to understand at first is you have to acknowledge that there's going to be differences and you're not going to be on the same page. And I think couples don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think couples, and I think it can be as simple as things like gangbangs or threesomes. You hear all the time about threesomes. The difference, if you ask the male version of a couple or the female version of what is an ideal threesome, you will get different answers.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to understand that you're not going to be on the same page, and then you have to understand how to process that,
mm-hmm.
and how to actually move through those steps, which leads to the other part of what do you do when you reach a point where there's not a process to work through. It's just a non-negotiable. That's the second half of this that comes into play. There might be a step that it just becomes non-negotiable, that I may never be ready to cross that step.
Gotcha.
How does that affect in the lifestyle? I mean, this is the shit that these are all hobbies, right? And this is supposed to be fun, but there's a lot of things with this that can play into the emotions.
How stable is your marriage, though?
I
know ours. But I mean, how, the random couple that's delving into different aspects of it, how solid is their marriage to be able to withstand it, or...
But see, there's the other thing that becomes subjective. I would put money, I would guess, this is totally my opinion, totally a guess, but if you took most husbands and wives, think back to the dating game, or the newlywed game, where they would sit down and they'd ask the guys questions when the wives would have couldn't hear, and vice versa, and how fucking different their answers were.
They were newlyweds, they didn't know each other.
Right, yes, I got... Really? Thanks, Pumpkin.
You're welcome.
Anyways, the thing, they had another version of that was not newlywed.
Okay.
Another married couple, and it was still way different answers. I watched on YouTube when they had all like former guest hosts of other or hosts of other TV shows because Bob Barker and his wife was on there when they were young. Weird. Anyways, but if you sat down with most couples and took the guy and the girl on and said, rate what your level, how strong your marriage is, 1 to 10, 10's the best, 1's the worst. How strong your communication is, 10's the best, 1's the worst. What is the chance of your marriage ever ending? 1 is for sure, 10 is never. If you ask those 3 questions of 100 couples, 7 rooms, I'll bet you, I would safely bet less than 10% would answer those questions the same.
Yeah, but their thought processes are different.
Right, which is the whole fucking point of this, which is when you say, well, it depends on how strong the marriage is. How strong the marriage is.
Right.
Well, that depends. How strong is it? How strong what would you rate our marriage? 1 to 10 communication, what would you rate it? Today, we only have an hour-long show. What would you rate it, 1 to 10?
8 or 9.
Well, which is it? I didn't say ish.
8 to 9.
Pick a fucking number.
9. There's always room for improvement.
Okay. Now, on Monday through Saturday, I agree with that. I'd say a 9. On Sundays, before the show, I'd say about a 2, because obviously that didn't go well. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, how strong would you rate our marriage?
10.
I would rate it a 10 also. Because you went first. No, I'm kidding. Okay. And the chances of the lifestyle breaking our marriage up, 1 being no way in hell, 10 being 100% possibility. How would you
Wait a minute, what? 1 is not it wouldn't break it up?
1 is, wait a minute, how is this?
Because you said 100% that it would.
Yeah, 1 is 100% that it would, 10 is there's no way it would. 100% it wouldn't.
That it would break up our marriage?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, give me a number. See, now the
Never
show just
say
got
never.
real. Give me a fucking number.
9.5.
So what you're saying is the boyfriend's making headway? No, okay, so...
Yeah, like a 10th of a...
Right, I would agree because never say never.
Never say never because you never know what's going to come along.
Well, actually, the reason I would say it is, if you say 10, there's nothing will ever break it up, then you're not watching for things that can... You're not watching for the cracks that can create something that...
Agreed.
If there's always something to watch for, then you are watching so that shit doesn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody doesn't home wreck you or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But most couples, I've talked to couples. How would you say your communication is? He'll go 8. She'll go 3.
Because there's a big difference in the thought process between a dude and a chick.
Exactly. So if the thing is where this all leads to is, you can't base it off of the general question of how, depending on how strong their marriage is. The lifestyle and every step and every part of the process and every new thing you do, you have to look at it as you're newbies and you're starting over.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I think that's the part that doesn't happen. And I think you have to be willing to accept the fact that your partner may not ever want what you want.
True.
And so the thing with that is, it's kind of like a gangbang is a really good example. It's actually, well, no, it really is, because here's why. There are some women that really want a gangbang.
Mm-hmm.
There are some women that really want no part of a gangbang, and some don't really know. There are some husbands, and I was one of them, that really want you to have a gangbang. There's some husbands really don't want you to have a gangbang, and there's some that really don't know. So if we talk about the subject of a gangbang and how that's going to work, if I come to you with that question, I have to be willing, because we're newbies at that. We're brand new. We've never done it.
Right. That
means I have to be willing to say, do you want this? And have you go, no, not at all. And go back to thinking like a newbie, which is, no, we don't. At which point in time, I have to say, I really want to be a part of a gangbang, because maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's not so much at that point in time, okay, you don't want a gangbang, but I want to be a part of a gangbang. Can I be a part of a gangbang? So then you have to take and you talk about it, and you may never change. I may never get exactly what I want, which is to watch you in a gangbang, but maybe I can participate in one somewhere else. But you have to communicate that part. If you go into stuff with me trying to figure out how I can sucker you into a gangbang, how I can sucker you into saying the answer that I want to hear, well, in your regular marriage, that doesn't work. Or it's a bad idea. Eventually, it's going to come back to fucking kick you in the ass. But in the lifestyle, that's a horrible idea. Right?
It can backfire.
Yeah, I mean, this is when people start doing weird shit like, oh, hey, we're at this event. Look at all these guys that just happen to be around here. Want another drink? Hey. Yeah, I mean, you can't do that, right? And that seems absurd because it's gangbang duh. Well, it's the same thing with different steps, other steps in the lifestyle. I mean, I guess a part of it is understanding that you don't have to take any steps. Mm-hmm. That's a huge part. Are we at halftime? So where we're at right now?
Yeah.
Jesus, fuck. So far, so good. This is going great, hon. Let's take a quick break. Fuck. Hey, don't forget to check us out, all of our stuff at crazycasba.com. You can shop our merchandise. You can see where we're going to be. You can participate in Casba Cares and so much more at Krazy, Krazy, Casba, KSBH.com. And also, don't forget you can hear us every single week on FullSwapRadio.com. Wait, what was that? FullSwapRadio.com. Check us out. We're actually on Mondays at 5 Central. And again, Mondays at 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. Check us out today. Not today, but next time on a Monday. Just saying. Whatever.
So how did we bring up...
Back to this fucking disaster.
Well, you know...
It's a learning curve. We're taking a step.
This is where our communications lags, so never say 100%.
We're doing pretty good so far.
Okay, so who initiated playing alone?
I think that
Was it the one in the hotel room? Was the first one for you, right?
Yes.
Where she was taking a bath.
Okay. Yes. Yep. And I think that was an easily broached subject because you had made mention about the fact that there was a huge sexual chemistry between us. So you could tell there was a huge attraction there, sexual chemistry there, and that you had no interest. And I'm like, well, why couldn't I fuck her? Well, you know what? Maybe we could try.
So you brought it up.
So I brought it up, and you were very, very open to it. Mm-hmm. Just like anything else in the lifestyle, and this is I will say this is why it's so big to be honest and communicate on things. After it happened, I was super concerned about making sure you were okay with it. And there was a level of guilt. There's a level of, even though you knew everything, I mean, all parts of it, knowing about it, a lot like when we first got in the lifestyle that I went through. Mm-hmm. And then the first time you played alone, my level of anxiety went up just like when we were doing the lifestyle.
Really? Even though you've seen me play with him before?
Even though I had no fear of you leaving or anything. 99% of the fears we have in the lifestyle are irrational if you talk them through. If you don't talk them through, they become very rational. Mm-hmm. But if you talk them through, you can see that they're actually probably pretty irrational. But you have to talk them through.
And so it obviously didn't bother either one of us to play again. So
no, because once you got used to it, but we talked about it.
That was so long ago.
It was, but we talked about it.
Well, I know that.
That was the difference. Fucking really.
I'm making
shortest fucking podcast or whatever. So the thing is, okay, so if you don't address the issues heart to heart and really work to get your point across and work to communicate it, whatever the step or whatever it is you're wanting to try or do, that's when you're going to have issues, right? So you need to, if you want to try to present your case, you need to build a strong case. You need to talk about and build everything that goes with why. So people they can understand why you're thinking that way. What does it mean? The whole 9 yards. And you have to be willing to understand that they may say no.
Right.
And so then you need to have figured out what is plan B. Because if you get told no, just like in life, then you have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you going to deal with it? I mean, that needs to be something that you talk about at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Because brooding about it, pouting about it,
pushing it could totally backfire.
Fuck yeah, it can.
Okay, so let me ask you this. When your nut blew. Okay.
Which time?
So we were jackass. I meant literal.
Right. Gotcha.
Okay. So we were at a party the weekend before.
We were.
And we both went, you know what, we're really not in the mood to play.
That's correct.
We went back to the room. We didn't even play.
Nope, we didn't.
We went to bed.
Yep, that's right. Yep, I remember all those parts.
Right.
Right.
So then the next weekend, you were having a nut taken out.
I was.
Okay,
Yep.
So...
There it went. On top of Old Smoky.
Back up a little bit.
With cheese.
Because a couple of weeks...
I lost my poor nut.
Oh, fuck off.
Because I fucking sneezed.
Okay, so the week before the party is when I hooked... Or 2 weeks, whatever. I hooked up with the work bag.
Right. Yep.
Right?
Yep, I remember. I paid for it.
And then...
I still have the receipt.
You didn't pay for it because that was at work. That was the one that was on a whim. The very first time, yes.
That wasn't the very first time.
Yes, it was.
No.
January 22nd was the very first time we hooked up.
Because we used that room for something else later.
Oh, shit, we did.
Yeah, so that was the second
so
time. And I did and I did pay for it. And I do still have the fucking receipt. Anyways, your point, pumpkin.
Yeah, I forgot we had... Okay.
So when I was recovering from my nut was the third time that you played.
Okay, so when you were recovering, you're like, go play.
Yes.
And I felt guilty as shit.
As well you should have. No, you shouldn't have. No.
No, I felt guilty because I'm like, yeah, but you can't do anything.
We were still, and this was part of that learning curve. We were still new in that.
We weren't that new, though.
No.
A year.
We were still new in that type of a scenario. Again, you can call it fuck buddy, you can call it boyfriend, you can call it whatever. A separate relationship type of situation. That was only the third time. It was only the third time that you two had hooked up at that point. So it was still new. So we were still, just like every step, we were still learning. We were still talking about it.
How did you feel knowing that you'd had surgery and couldn't do anything?
It didn't bother me.
I mean, you were horny as shit when I got home.
Right. I was. It didn't bother me because I couldn't, there was nothing I could do. Okay, so the bigger question is, has there been times that it's affected me? Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
There are times that you sit there and go, okay, great, what the fuck ever, fine, go fuck, yeah, great, you fucked, great. That's usually because either I have not hooked up for quite a while, whatever, and I'm usually balls deep or ball deep because I only have one in a project and working on stuff, and I'm just frustrated with that, whatever. Does it ultimately bother me? No.
If we had never played before, would it have bothered you for me to hook up with him?
If we had never played alone, yeah. If knowing what I knew of, just because I go in hindsight and knowing how mind fucked it made me.
So if you were a guy having let's just say if you were a guy having issues or medical induced issues or whatever the case may be, what kind of emotions would you have had?
The fear factor, the first time you played by yourself was, I'm not going to be able to gauge your reactions, and the fear that you're going to tell me, oh, it was okay when you really loved it, and I wasn't going to be able to be there to see it myself.
Okay.
Okay? And let it be known, you have no history of lying to me.
Right, and the thing is that I would say, oh my God, it was awesome. I wouldn't have hidden and just said it was okay.
But as a guy, so you couldn't see that for yourself. the other thing when, like with, if it would have been, if we had still been new like that with having just blown out my nut or with a medical condition would be that I'm never going to be, you know, I'm tainted now. I'm, you know, well, you have to understand at that point in time, I didn't know what if I would have issues.
True.
Right? You know, at this point in time, I know it hurt to stand up, so I don't fucking know. You know, I wouldn't know, and feeling like maybe less of a man, and it's like, okay, so yeah, so she found somebody who can fill that void. Again, irrational.
Mm-hmm.
Completely irrational if you talk it through.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, it becomes very rational. Because the problem, because if you don't talk it through, what happens is it's a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point in time, because you can still sense the change.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, what's wrong? Nothing. And I'm not saying it, and so then you're feeling guilty, and then you pick up the anger. Why the fuck, if there's something wrong, just tell me. Why the fuck is he, you know, fine, you're pissed or not, you're not pissed, fuck you. It's the way a fight works.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, only thing is, it's an argument that is being waged in two people's heads. It's never actually being verbalized with each other. So when you start arguing with somebody else, but it's all in your head and you're filling both roles, that fight can get pretty fucking vicious.
Mm-hmm.
And that person can say some really dicky things because they're not saying, you're thinking all these things, right? And it's so that part of it, if you let this shit fester and you don't fucking bring it up and actually talk about it,
mm-hmm.
then you got a problem. I think one of the everything leads to, I wanted to try to make it so people understood it wasn't just about playing alone, but I think everything leads to ultimately playing alone. That becomes the question.
There's a lot of people that want to play alone because it is hard to find couples that mesh, that everybody wants. You know, it's like one set of couple, no, like the man of one couple and the woman of the other couple have this strong sexual desire to fuck each other, and then the other couple are like,
yeah,
I don't know.
There's dynamics, there's personality differences, there's humor differences, there's sexual style differences, there's, you've lived it, you've seen it, I've seen it the other way around. We went through this where if there's a sexual tension connection, you know, we've had guys get up, I'm hammering some dude's wife, and he couldn't handle that.
Mm-mm.
And it was like, everybody, there was no rules broken, but it mind fucked him, not ripping on the dude. It's happened the other way.
Mm-hmm.
The other problem is, as a couple, you know, maybe we hook up as a couple and my shit's not working that night. So then all of a sudden, she's getting cheated, or his shit's not working that night and you're getting cheated. It's very hard to go as a couple. And so, yes, plus, here's the other reality of it. There's an added dirty factor. There's an added kink factor playing alone. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
I always feel like you perform better without me around.
Yeah, I do. I do. I do, because I think that you're still my wife first. And I know that you're watching, that you're concerned to make sure I'm not having issues. So I know you're not completely focused on what you're doing because you're making sure I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there's a degree of playing alone. It's a little bit dirtier because it just is. There's nothing else. It's just focused one-on-one. There's a lot of perks to it. But a friend of ours said at one time, every time you hook up and you swing as a couple, you're taking and you're testing the strength of your relationship. Mm-hmm. It's the weirdest fucking hobby in the world. And she was exactly right. And the reality is, when you are fucking playing alone, you're taking that test of your relationship. You're upping that another level. Because like we talked one time, if rules get broken, did a rule get broken, or did it get purposely denied or purposely ignored? I mean,
right.
There's all these other factors in it.
But you have to have trust on that one.
You have to have trust. Greater risk, greater reward. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a legitimate fear out there, and this is where you have to take honest inventory of your relationship. There is legitimate fear of playing alone can create a huge crack in your marriage. We saw it early on. We had it happen. We had a girl that we were playing with that years and years and years and years ago when the first time that she
we were very new.
She tried to home wreck because she was jealous of you. She wanted what you had, and the thing was, I didn't see it.
Yeah, no,
you saw it.
Yeah,
our kids saw it, but I didn't see it. Mm-hmm. So there's a high, and that wasn't even playing alone. Mm-mm. There's a higher risk factor that goes with it. And you have to be willing to communicate and admit that that is very fucking real. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people who are going to listen to this, and they're going, well, that's not us. We're nowhere there. We don't do that. We're this, we're that. I'm telling you right now, if you've been wherever you're at in your journey, until you're where we're at, until you're there, until you're playing alone consistently, or getting the first time you're getting a relationship outside of a marriage, because there was a time we said we would never be boyfriend girlfriends. Mm-hmm. Until you're there,
it's exclusive.
Yeah, until you're there, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
and when you're there, you don't know how you're going to feel or react until it's happening. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm sure there's something else that will come up, because again, we talk about it. I was talking to somebody last night when we were out about how we literally we call it a free range relationship, and that's really what we have. We're chickens. We're chickens. We're very rare in the lifestyle. And I'm sure there'll be something else down. Well, there's already going to be something else. There'll be a new twist in theory down the road. Mm-hmm. Right? There's going to be a new twist. At some point in time, you're going to have a sleepover.
Like a slumber party.
Sort of. Yeah. And there'll be pizza and it'll be great. But that's something new. We laugh about that right now because there was a time I was going to be out of town and a guy wanted to meet you when we were new. Mm-hmm. And it was like, it didn't make sense for you to drive home if you were going to meet them. But we couldn't wrap our head around that whole concept of sleeping in the hotel. So to be 10 years later.
And he didn't want just me, he wanted a couple.
Yeah, exactly. But then to meet 10 years later and be at a totally different thing, there's always new challenges or new steps. I was asked, how will I feel about when you do a sleepover?
Won't know.
My answer is, I don't know. I can tell you, right now I would say, I'll be fine. Mm-hmm. That is completely an uneducated answer. It's just an assumption. Do I think it's correct? Yes. But until I won't, at midnight that night, I'll be able to tell you. I'll be able to answer that question. Right? Well, I mean, seriously, that's how that works. You don't know. And so a lot of people are going to listen and go, well, this doesn't even concern us. It will.
If you just keep going.
If you stay in this long enough, even if you don't consistently play alone, or even if you don't consistently go from soft swap to full swap, if you're even doing it once or thinking about it, this concept, what we're talking about, will affect you. If you're in lifestyle.
Never even thought, even vaguely, we'd even be considering a fucking sleepover.
You would have thought that it'd been me before you.
Yeah.
Because there was
the other gal.
Yeah.
Because she lives so far away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because you were, and we were adamant. At one time, we were.
I mean, we kind of had sleepovers in a hotel, if that counts, but not really.
Yeah, but we were both
because we were both there. Yeah.
But even then, think about this. Even then, we never slept with anybody but each other in the hotel. Think back. There was one time it was headed that way, and that was when we were cracking all the jokes about the Star Wars stuff, that some no sex happened, and then we ended up switching, and we even both said on the way home the next day, it was like, yeah, I didn't know how that was going to work out.
I really don't know.
Yes, you do. Yes, because I get told that eating pussy I sound like Darth Vader. And I don't know the shit. So, but
That's true.
We always slept, even if we shared a hotel room, even when we were with our third, my girlfriend. I don't know what you want to call her at that time. Whatever.
Yeah, I slept in the middle.
Yeah, we still followed those what I would consider now antiquated rules.
Mm-hmm.
We would not need to do that now.
Because after the first one, we said we never have another one in our bed.
Yeah.
Of course, it wasn't our bed. It was a hotel bed.
But here's the thing. Now it wouldn't bother.
No.
Now it wouldn't. I don't care.
That's just evolving.
Right. But there was a lot of communication to get there.
Yeah.
The thing is this. If you are to the point where if you don't talk about it, you are just... I guess here's the thing. If you want something bad enough, you're going to do it regardless of whatever that conversation is. But understand this. You make that decision.
Hiding it is a different story.
Oh.
But the thing is that for one side of the couple that's apprehensive, though, doesn't know how they're going to feel about it, doesn't know how emotions are going to play into it, how are you going to know until they do it?
Right.
But you have to talk it out.
You have to be, I think you have to be honest and set up that you have to talk ahead of time, and you have to be honest that you don't know, and then the person that goes, it's going to be okay, has to say, as soon as it's over, sit down and go, okay, let's talk, and has to be the one then to come back and really show the person that was nervous. You have to understand why they're nervous about it.
Mm-hmm.
Once you understand that, then it's your responsibility. Like, if you were nervous about it, I wasn't. When it's the event's over, it's my responsibility to come back and go through it with you as many times as it takes till your fears are. You're saying, no, it didn't come out that way. Everything is just fine. Everything's back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
The scary thing is that every step in this lifestyle, when you take it, you can't take it back.
But you have to talk it through to make it.
Yeah, you
to
have
reassure them you're not going anywhere.
You have to talk it through, but if you make the decision to do what you want to do no matter what,
mm-hmm.
okay, understand that is going to hurt you in a lifestyle. If it gets back to your partner, it's going to... I don't know if that can ever be recovered from.
Yeah.
To be honest, I can tell you I wouldn't want to try to find out. Even as strong as our marriage is, I wouldn't want to try to find out. I wouldn't want to put that level of test to it. And I think we'd have a way better chance than most people to work through those things.
You don't want to see me mad.
Right, no. But I mean, it's just... I think that there's this part of this stuff, though, that you have to understand. You have to figure out how much of a value are you going to put on sex.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the big thing. At what point in time does sex have a higher value than your actual relationship?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what it comes down to. If you don't win that discussion, I don't hate to say win because it shouldn't be a contest, but if your partner is never ready to make that step, never ready to do that,
mm-hmm.
if you put sex, you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision. Do you value the sex is more important to you than the actual relationship? There are people that, I mean, you've had a hysterectomy. There's always the risk with a hysterectomy that sex will hurt. You have no sex drive. Those are all things that can happen, medically can happen. If you would, that we were fortunate that wasn't the case for you.
Right.
If we had not been in the lifestyle and that had happened to you, we're not swingers. I would not have just started to cheat on you. I would like to think who knows what we'd have done, but
I would like to think that I would have said, you can go find somebody. Before we were ever in the lifestyle, I'm like, you want to find some? Because I, at that point, didn't really care to give blowjobs.
Yeah.
I said, if you find some girl to give you a blowjob, let her give you a blowjob. I don't care.
I never tried that theory to see if
didn't.
it worked because I wasn't that dumb. But
you weren't that dumb. Do you not believe me?
it's one thing to say it. It's another
Maybe
thing.
that would have led to the lifestyle a hell of a lot sooner.
Maybe it would have. Or maybe it would have led to a fucking frying pan upside my head. Because when I come, well, you said if I can find a chick that wanted to suck my dick, I found one and she sucked my dick.
I was serious.
There would have been some tears involved in that mess. The discussion would not have always just been, trust me, I can, well, you didn't ask if I was just kind of saying, and you didn't say that night you wanted your dick sucked, and don't even go there. Anyway, this fucking clown. I'm just saying, it's just one of those things.
I know. You know, you have 5.
I don't care. I can go as long as I fucking want.
Anyway.
I can.
I know. It's your radio station.
It's our show.
I know.
I kind of want to just... How do you think this new format thing went?
Rough.
Really, really.
Because that's
people probably hate this show.
No.
I mean, we haven't very many people stay on listening, so that's not a good thing.
So you threw me off when you're like, well, we're going to bring it up this way, and
we followed through on that.
No, it was legitimate questions and stuff that I had seen to cover the subject. You're like, well, we'll just do it this way.
We did it this way because there was a key to make sure that no one would be... The people that had some questions followed with it are avid listeners, and there was concern that it would out them.
Yeah.
We've done this in the past. We've altered the show to answer questions to protect people when they ask us to.
Yes.
But I thought we would try, and I thought it went okay, but apparently we'll see.
No, it went fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've had a huge crowd stay on the Facebook page.
No, don't worry about Facebook.
I always worry about it because we love our fans on Facebook. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm trying something new. We lived on the edge. We took a chance. We went for it. We lived on the edge. And we died. Anyways. All right. Yeah. With that being said. What?
I figured you'd make up a question.
I told you.
I know you did. Like
I followed through. We fucking went through. We had the meeting. And I followed through exactly what I said was going to happen in the meeting. You were the one that when the show started, just sat there and looked at me like you never heard any of this shit.
But I don't know where I was supposed to say what.
We don't script our parts out.
No, we don't.
So you can say whatever you want.
I was just listening.
I get that part, and I'm just listening. Why? Because it's fun to watch Cole sit there and just fucking swelter and try to fucking figure out how to...
You weren't sweltering.
It's a brand new format. Let's let Cole flounder and see how it goes. Let's watch the show, kids. Golf clap. 8. We got lots of communicating we need to work on. 8.
Oh, I'm like 8. What 8?
The lifestyle's not going to break up the show or break up the marriage, but the fucking podcast and changes, that sure will.
No, it won't either.
Yeah. No, we did not take minutes. We should have, obviously. God. Thank God this is over. All right. Well, hallelujah. We're out for time. We got to go. Thank the good Lord for that one. I'm sure you'll all be excited to catch this show live again. No. We'll continue to fiddle. There's changes coming. We're going to fiddle with some shit.
Yeah.
Twist
and that person wasn't the only one that is going through this. That's what was a big...
Oh, now you have shit to interject. Awesome. Thanks.
Oh, fuck off.
We've got the next half hour. It's the Miss Amanda Show. Go. I'm just fucking with you. It's okay, pumpkin. Don't flick me off, damn it. Show some love. 7. We're 6. Keep going. We're gonna keep going lower. All right. Again, a shout out to our paid sponsors, altplayground.net. Check them out. We're there. Why? Because we're everywhere. Elvis is everywhere.
Someone said that last night. You're just like everywhere. Then it's like, oh, there's Casper. Oh, there's Casper. Oh, there's Casper. I'm like, going, seriously?
You know who else?
Those look like Amanda's tits. I'm like, wait.
You know who else knows that? All of our haters. These motherfuckers are everywhere. Dicks.
Yeah.
So anyways, but altplayground.net. Don't forget to check out their meet and greets. How do you meet people? You go to meet, and how do you greet people? Greets. Meet and greets.
Nah.
Yeah. Good thing it's not meet and greet, smell my feet, because then you'd have to sniff people's toes. That's weird.
That's
anyways, they've got events going on the 14th, the 15th. Couple events, 14th, one on the 1st is sold out. Beat them out all over the country. Altplayground.net. Also, remember, read, kids. It does your mind good. It makes you strong. You'll figure out and remember what those words sound like. Read out loud. Read for your others. Read to your kids. It's whatever. ASMLifestyleMagazine.com. Check it out. 3 million swingers can't be wrong. Be 3 million and one. And finally, hey, you just listened to a show. You know what? You listen to a show, you read the mag. Come on, fuckers, let's buy some swag. Hey, Amy just showed up from Hawaii, or from Mexico.
Hawaii?
So check us out
You're in Hawaii?
at FullSwapShop.com. Check it out today, and don't forget to listen to us on Full Swap Radio. Until next time, doing it the only way I know how, the only way I ever will, the only way where we're going to change fucking formats again is monkeys flying on my ass. Casbah style, out.